It is Earth Day, April 22nd, 2017, and I am in the Queen Elizabeth II wildlands, or I'm about to be. It's the first camping trip of the season, which makes this the happiest time of year. Alright, this is about as good as of a view as I can get without taking any undue risks. It's a beautiful falls. These big cliffs beside it. Okay, this is nuts. This is just nuts. The bass fishery here is off the charts. This might even be bigger than the 6-pounder from Wolf Lake. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. This is bigger. This might be 7 pounds. That is just incredible. Look at the mouth. I'm gonna quickly weigh him. He's out of season, I know. But wow. Okay, so I get to do the tightrope again, but this time it's windy. Here we go. Finally back at camp and ready for a dip of my feet. I got some water finally, and I can't wait to put my aching feet in this ice cold water. Oh, whew. Oh. How good does that look? Oh, man. I'll tell you how good. I already had a bite and it just blew me away. There's nothing like fresh lake trout with fresh fish crisp. You'll put your favorite fish and chips to shame. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. Well, I couldn't have drawn up a more perfect finale if I tried. Birds are chirping. Beautiful sunset. Really comfortable nights, probably around 20 degrees. Perfect. It's almost 7 a.m. I've eaten my muffin and packed up camp, and I'm on the water, ready to hit the portage. And I was trolling the Williams wobbler again, and sure enough, another lake trout. I won't even pull him out for a photo or anything, I'll just let him go. But beautiful fish. This would have been a nice eater too, not as much meat, but there it goes. Eating. I'm back in the car, trip's over, and I'm physically wrecked from the last 6 days, but in a good way. The only problem is I'm starving, but I've got a meal deal coupon for one with my name on it. Alright, it's not even 2 o'clock, it's 1:45, and I'm on the water, and it's only misting, so I'm basically giddy with happiness right now that I took this risk and it's paying off. It's really fantastic. I'm paddling down the Chickadishing River now, and there are tons of campsites on the way on the south shore, which hopefully I can access. It's all going to depend on the wind, which I'll see once I get to the open water there. But tons of places to stop, so we'll just play it by ear. Well, I'm around the big point and finally behind some breakers, and it feels so good to be on calmer water again. Just came through all all this, and particularly down at that point, the swells were up to 1 meter in size, so that was pretty scary. Well, this portage is going out like it came in, and at this point I've completely abandoned the attempts to keep the shoes dry, and got the last bit of gear here, and I'm finally good to go again. Put this nasty portage behind me. Got lunch going. Yeah, lunch. I never stopped to eat lunch. I just had a couple of snacks, so frozen, hungry and tired, and I probably won't do anything else today. Good fish. I'm in Beaverstone Bay, which is where there could be some good walleye, but it's just been rained on all day. I don't feel like it at all. I just want to eat and relax and read if I don't fall asleep. Just laid down in the tent, and I'm so tired that I could just fall asleep here in a second. After about 20 kilometers of paddling today, in the wind, rain, and big waves, I'm just exhausted. And it's raining out now, so I feel extra unmotivated to get out and do anything. So if I try to read, I'll fall asleep, and I really don't want to fall asleep right now because I'll wake up at 3 a.m. wide awake. Well, it was a bit below freezing last night, so I was waking up quite a bit. And the moisture on the tent was like frozen stiff. But at least I'm waking up to this. Should be a beautiful day and finally some sun. And now I'm here in Collins Inlet, so I get to paddle down there now, and it seems pretty calm in here, so that's terrific. And here's a waterfall that I didn't even know existed, so everything is pretty sweet right now. Look at that, just eating little shrubs. Not even shrubs, weeds. Huh. That is pretty awesome. Though, really they should be more wary of humans, ideally. That's not really what you want. But wow, good for you, 3 cubs. Well done. So in spots like these, it's going to get a little bit less leisurely, but so far, still all passable. Not going to be warm this weekend, so hopefully we don't want to get too soft and wet. Well, I could hear this from a little ways away, and I've just been waiting for it to happen. And there's the falls, which is definitely impassable. And there's no semblance of a portage. So that's good in the sense that clearly no one does use this, at least not for canoeing. And the bad news is I'm gonna have to get through all this with a 16-foot canoe somehow. So I'm gonna get up on the bank there and see what I can do. Rained all night, lightly but consistently, and it's been raining on and off quite lightly this morning, but I'm going to go out there and just risk getting soaked soon. Been in the tent long enough. Got some rainwater off the tarp and made some mint tea with that, so I'm enjoying that. Well, it's coming down pretty good right now, and I was in it for a little bit in the canoe and decided to come in before I got too soaked. So I'm probably going to take a nap and then make lunch after, and hopefully it'll be not so wet then. It is just pouring now. It really hasn't stopped for more than a couple of minutes all day, although it usually hasn't been this hard. But hopefully this is the last gasp of this this weather. It's supposed to kind of clear up this evening, but we'll see. I've been huddled under the tarp all day, just drinking coffee and tea, staying warm because it's kind of damp, but I could use some excitement. Wow, what a beautiful evening. Just out of nowhere it was pouring, and then the storm moved past within a matter of 10-15 minutes, and now it's just perfect out here on my own little lake. There's no one else here. I've heard an ATV or two, I think, going in and then coming out, but aside from that I have the run of the place. So I'm going to enjoy the fire just briefly and get a little fishing in while I can. I've barely been able to today because of the rain, so see if I can get a brook trout out of this lake. Man, this evening is just too nice. Can't even fathom it. See the terrain there in the distance and the gorgeous colors at dusk here. And that's camp right there. And I haven't caught anything. I've had one tiny little bite that got off. And I was under the tent or tarp for the last 8 hours or so, and I'm just having such a great time. It's been so peaceful and calm here, and I'm the only one around. And it's exactly what I wanted out of this trip, to kind of discover my own little spot, despite that it has been used a little, but not by many people. And I'm just really content, and I don't know, something must be wrong with me to enjoy a rainy day this much. Well, I've reached the end of the road here. Can't go any further than this really, unless I really wanted to, but I've already come a fair ways today, and I have to get back to camp, and it still could turn ugly today, but right now it's just beautiful. Well, I can see it storming there in the distance, and I'm hoping that I can stay dry. That might be pretty close to camp actually, but so far it's kind of staying blue above me. But there are plenty of big clouds out there. There was a possibility of thunderstorms today too, so hopefully I just work my way around it. I don't know if you can hear that thunder, but it just started coming down just as I got to camp. It was spitting before that and raining lightly, but it just started to really come out. So that timing worked out perfectly. There was even a bit of slushy hail coming down there as I got in. So I'm dry and it can rain all at once right now. I'm gonna eat some lunch. Super windy last night, all night, which made things pretty chilly. And this morning, still gusting. But the good news is it dried out my tarp in my tent, so I can pack it up now without it being a wet mess. It's also back-to-back trips of being pretty rainy. However, this one was so much more enjoyable than the Jordan Bay trip. For one, I had the tarp, so that gave me a lot of extra dry space. So well worth packing that in on this trip. So yeah, despite the weather, great trip. Well, I'm on the access road now, and look at this little winter wonderland. Kind of pretty. Hopefully the access road's alright. It's some big puddles here, but as long as it's not washed out, we'll be good. It sure does suck. We've only got a few kilometers left of the 20 kilometers to pass Wicksteed Lake. And I can't wait to be done that, and then I can get into the creek and get into some hopefully quieter, less monotonous paddling. It's close to 5:30 and camp is set up. And I'm just lying down with all my clothes on and my sleeping bag to get warmer and just to rest my back more than anything because it's just broken right now. Blech. Ugh. And I'm so tired. 4.5 hours of sleep isn't helping. Oh, yeah, it's not like a good hard workout feeling, it's like pain. Yeah, so I'm super happy to be at camp finally. That's a relief. And once my back stops hurting, I'm gonna cook up a big dinner with lots of bacon. And have a glass of red wine and unwind. I don't plan on getting back in the canoe today. Ever. Well, it's 8:15, so I slept for almost 12 hours. It's a bit of a waste of the morning, but I guess I needed it. I feel like I was in a coma, so out of it. So I'm going to make some coffee and have breakfast and quickly and fish my butt off today. It's the opener. Well, I made the terrible mistake of trying to go to shore to go to the washroom, and I've awoken the spawn of hell. Hell is where black flies go to spend the winter, if you didn't know. And now they are definitely biting and swarming. So I'm probably going to get the bug net on. I don't like wearing it, but it beats having to pull them off my face all the time. It's on! This is actually too good. I'm drooling here. I just had a bite of the salami, and man, it's good. Well done, maple leaf. And had a bite of boursin on a cracker. And now, all three together. It's actually turned into a nice calm evening. The wind is dying down drastically. And the sun is out behind some high hazy clouds. And you'd think that would be nice, but I would actually love more cloud cover right now because of my sunburns. When the sun touches me, it burns. It feels terrible. Man, listen to the spring peepers in the bay here. It's almost deafening. It's like they're peeping inside of my brain. It's extremely loud here. I don't know if the audio will pick it up. Alright, so I dug out this little fire pit with the trowel. A little trench between some rocks, and then I set the rocks up around it. And I've been burning some coals down for about 10 minutes. And now it should be ready to cook on. And I can just feed it with some tiny twigs to control the flame. I can pretty safely say that this is the best rainy day setup I've ever made. Here in the hammock. And the one problem I was having is I had a chill. It's cool and damp today, but I just went in this tent and got my sleeping bag, and I'm so much more comfortable now. The tarp is covering the hammock perfectly, and then within reach I have everything I need. There's my little cook fire, plenty of twigs to keep it going later, and a reserve supply over here, all of which are under the tarp and dry. And then my food bag, my day bag, and water and anything else I need. Well, it's 1 o'clock and it's pouring. The rain's only picking up steam so far today. And it feels like kind of an all-day rain, so I don't expect it to let up for at least a few more hours. At least I'm still really enjoying the book. I'm reading it really slowly, just savoring it. Books like this are really like fine dining for my imagination. So I'm just slowly eating away at it. It's good. I'm not concerned. I'm having a nice rest day. My shoulder blade all around it is still really knotted up, and just moving it like that is just a little painful. So it's for the best that I'm stuck here resting. 8 o'clock, still raining. Stoking the fire, still with wet twigs. Just want to fish. Well, it's not raining. That's good. Not yet. So I better get packed up before it starts. I had some terrible dreams last night. Well, one in particular. Be a horror movie. And it was about twigs, after burning all those twigs yesterday in the fire. Alright. And there's another one coming up here. Oh, the number of suckers here is insane. I'm almost hitting them with my paddle. And the headwind is feeling pretty nasty. I'm in a calm spot here, but it's going to be grueling. And the tendons in my right wrist feel like they're about to cap, so today is going to rank high on the suck index, but gotta do it. I'm trying to tack against the wind diagonally like a sailboat. But progress is slow. I really should have chosen a different route knowing what I knew on Friday about the weather. I'm still not even out in the open lake yet, not quite. The waves are going to get crappy, so I'm going to stay close to shore as well. They're already picking up here, starting to wake tap ahead. The wind is gusting to probably 40 kilometers an hour, and when it does that, there's nothing I can do. I might be windbound today. I might have to set up camp somewhere. Get back tomorrow instead of today. I don't know. So I decided to cross to this side because the wind direction suggested that it might keep me a bit leeward, which it is right now. And unbelievably, out in the middle, my seat broke. Nothing's ever broken on this canoe, and of course it happens now. Rain is now whipping into my face and the boat. The stage just can't get worse right now. Oh yeah, and if you find anywhere with a little bit of peace behind an island, perhaps, the black flies are here to remind you that there is no escape from the misery that is today. 7 o'clock, so that was 10 or 11 hours of grueling paddling, almost without stopping. That's a wrap.